So I recently got to see Ferrari, the new Michael Mann film starring Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz, and I got to see it at the New York Film Festival this year. It was the closing night screening. Michael Mann himself was there to do a little bit of an intro for us, and we got to see the movie, even though it was pretty late at night. I want to preference, I watched this movie at about 9:30, and it was after a week of watching, 12 or 13 straight movies, so I was a little bit tired. But in saying that, I am a pretty big Michael Mann fan. I think Heat is one of the greatest movies I have seen in a very, very long time. I think it is absolutely a masterpiece. And now we have his new film, which is this race car driving movie based on the life of Ezio Ferrari, the guy who created Ferrari, the car brand, the car company, in this period of time where Ferrari seems to be almost going out of business. They're on the brink of bankruptcy, and they have to win this big race to save the company. And I don't think this is a perfect movie, but I did really, really like it. I definitely have some things that I have to say. Cons-wise, I have a lot of pros. It's definitely not the best Michael Mann movie, but it's a movie that I think is really going to resonate with a lot of audiences. I think it's going to do well with general audiences. It's a movie that I definitely enjoyed, so let me get right into it. Let me start with the pros. First off, this movie is extremely well made from a director point of view, and this film was essentially an indie film. I know Michael Mann has been trying to get this one made for years and years and years. I've been following kind of like the development hell that this movie has been going through for a very long time, and he ended up doing a lot of the funding for this movie by himself, and because of that, you get a very almost indie-style movie, but it's very impressive at how big budget this feels. I mean, everything about it just feels really, really high-end production. Specifically, the race scenes. Everything that has to do with racing in this movie, mainly in the third act, is so well made, so punchy, mostly due to the direction and the actual visual style and the cinematography and the practical effects of the cars, but also with the sound. The sound design in this movie absolutely pops, and it is really, really well made, and it adds so much to the movie. I mean, the racing scenes in this movie are some of the best racing stuff I've seen in any racing film, which I'm not a big racing film guy, but this movie really, really does it well, and it made for by far the most entertaining parts of this movie. Another big pro, Penelope Cruz, who plays Adam Driver, or Ezio Ferrari's wife. She is absolutely incredible in this movie. She kicks ass. She really, really does, and this is how you make a strong, powerful female character. This is the way you do it, and she is strong and amazing and sometimes terrifying, but just always commanding, and she steals every single scene that she's in. She's written really well here. This is just a character that I walked away from the film just wanting more of. Like, it's the character that I remembered most from here. She was amazing here. Adam Driver, he was good. You know, he gave his Adam Driver performance. If you've seen House of Gucci, which I know not a lot of people watched that movie because it was kind of bad, but if you have seen that movie, imagine what Adam Driver did there. Picture the character that he played there, but with a different hairstyle. Boom, you have your performance in Ferrari. Shailene Woodley's also in this movie, and she's not the best. She kind of did like the old Elizabeth Olsen playing Scarlet Witch thing, like sometimes she has an accent and sometimes she just kind of forgets to put on the accent.
Buddy, a question for a start?
It sounds like you're doing... Am I hearing an accent?
Oh, no.
I also think this movie is really, really paced well. It's a movie that I thought was going to be slow, based on a lot of the reviews that I've seen, based on the fact that it's a racing biopic. I just had a weird feeling it was just kind of going to be slow, you know, really slowly paced, kind of boring, kind of drag on, but this thing really does move at a quick tempo, and there always is something interesting and engaging happening on the screen, whether it be within the races, with the race cars or whatever, or whether it be with some surprisingly pretty good character drama. Because this movie does have a really interesting love triangle thing. It depicts a story of this failing marriage, this love story that's kind of happening on the side, this father-son love. Like, there's a big family aspect of this movie that is really at the center of it, and I think, and I read in a lot of reviews that it's probably the part of the movie that didn't work for a lot of people, but it actually worked pretty well for me, mainly because of the performances from Penelope Cruz specifically, but I really did engage with the family drama here. It's not perfect at times. Yet again, I think a lot of the stuff with Shailene Woodley's character just didn't work at all for me, but it is engaging enough that it kept me really interested in the movie when it wasn't all about the race car stuff. Another big thing I've seen in a lot of other reviews, the fact that they're mentioning that this movie does get a little bit gory, and I will say there are some things in this movie that caught me off guard. Knowing that there was going to be stuff like this in the movie still didn't really prepare me for what actually happened. I think it's really surprising and shocking, and there's a lot of stuff in this movie that really, really takes like a weird turn. It kind of becomes a completely different movie for a few scenes, and I loved it. The main thing that I just have to say about this movie from a con point of view is just that it's really kind of standard. This is the type of biopic that I feel like in a couple years, I'm gonna completely forget ever happened. There's just really nothing in it, at least from a visual aspect or just overall, that really stands out from every other movie that has come out this year or really any year. Like, there's nothing about it that's really poppy, you know what I mean? So although it's solid everywhere, you know, it's got a decent script, it's got good performances, it's got really punchy race cars, for some reason, and maybe I just can't figure it out yet, there's just something about this movie that is a little bit forgettable, and I think it's just because it's such a standard type story with a main performance from Adam Driver that I feel like I've seen before in The House of Gucci, so it's not like the first time I've seen this type of character from him. And because of that, it ended up not being my favorite movie from the festival, or even probably top 5 from the festival, but I still did enjoy a lot of it. And because of that, you know what? I will give Ferrari a 4 out of 5. I think it's a really good movie, and I think everybody, when it comes out later this year, should give it a chance. I think Michael Mann should be making more movies, and probably shouldn't make Heat 2, because why are we making a sequel to Heat? It's a perfect movie, let it stay on its own, go make something else, because you are a great filmmaker with a great mind, and we need more movies from you, my guy. And Adam Driver, I think you've done enough Italian movies. No more Italian stuff. I think 2 is done. You're good. And Shailene Woodley, also, no more Italian stuff, please.
Grazie.
So that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Make sure to turn on notifications to see everything as I post it. I will see you guys in the next video.